It may have been a quiet transfer deadline day for Manchester United, but it was a very, very busy summer. And I'm here to give you a complete transfer review of what Man United did this summer in terms of the players we signed and the players we either loaned or sold. And going to give them all a rating out of 10 in terms of how good I think that deal was for Manchester United. So let's get started because there is a lot to talk about. First up, Eric Bailly. Now, I'm giving him an 8 out of 10 for this one. I think he started phenomenally well, but Matteo Darmian last year has shown me that you shouldn't get too excited about a defender just because they have a good few games at the start, because up to Arsenal away last year, Darmian was superb and then he went off the radar. But Bailly, you just get a different feeling about him. It was that celebration against Hull that really made me fall in love with him already. He just looks to be buzzing to be a Red, and I'm buzzing about him because he's been such a good defender so far. He plays on the edge. He's a very, very aggressive defender, and his timing is superb, and that's the reason he's done so well so far. Will he get caught out this season? Maybe, but up until this point, he's been nothing short of phenomenal, and I'm going to give him a solid 8 out of 10. Next up, that man, Zlatan. And you can't give him anything else but a 10 out of 10 in terms of what this means for Manchester United. He was on a free. We finished 5th on goal difference last year. What do you go and do? You go and sign a striker who scored over 50 goals last year for PSG. Yes, it was the French league, but I don't care. Zlatan Ibrahimovic is a goal scorer, and he's already scored 4 for United. He didn't score against Hull, but he has scored in all previous competitive games, and you can see how much of a difference he's already made. Some of his goals have been fucking great. That header against Southampton probably stands out for me just because you saw how much he threw himself into it, and you can't defend against that. And I think in terms of making Man United more dangerous this season, we needed a new goal scorer. And there aren't many better than Ibrahimovic. Yes, he's 34. Yes, he's going to be on massive wages, but we got him on a free. He's not Eric Cantona, okay? I'm not saying that. But in terms of the impact of an ego like that can have in the dressing room, Ibrahimovic can be that guy, that catalyst to help transform the mindset of so many young players in that team who have got used to 3 years of mediocrity, to flush that out of their system alongside Jose Mourinho. That man is perfect for that. That's exactly why he gets 10 out of 10 for me. Next up, we've got Henrik Mkhitaryan. Now, it's been a slow start for him at Man United, hasn't it? We were all very, very excited about his signing, and I still am. Because let's be honest, he is one of the best wingers in the world. Involved in over 50 goals last year for Borussia Dortmund. And, you know, Mourinho hasn't played him too much yet. He came on against Hull and you saw how much of a difference his pace made to our lacklustre looking attack. But, you know, he hasn't played that much. But I'm absolutely not worried. We've got 6 games coming up in September, and Mkhitaryan just looks like the business when he's got the ball at his feet. Wayne Rooney is very slow in attack, and so is Juan Mata. Mkhitaryan is the opposite of that, and he loves doing it with the ball at his feet, a little bit like Anthony Martial, and they're the players you need in your attack, and it's just a very, very exciting signing. I think United have done phenomenally well in terms of the players we brought in, and Mkhitaryan has been a big part of that. And obviously, the man we haven't talked about, Paul Pogba. I think it's a fantastic deal for Manchester United to bring back one of our homegrown players. He's down on the 25-man Premier League list as a homegrown player because we bought him from Le Havre as a young teenager before he left for Juventus. A 4-year loan spell there. He's come back, and it's a phenomenal signing for Man United. I'm going to give it 8 out of 10 again. I think that's absolutely fair enough. I can't wait to see Pogba really in his full flow. I think he's played well in the first couple of games, was a little bit missing against Hull, just like the majority of the team. But you can't argue with Pogba. We needed a box-to-box midfielder. What did we sign? A box-to-box midfielder. Arguably the best box-to-box midfielder in the world. It's a superb deal. All the fans are happy. All fans of other teams are laughing at us for spending 100-odd million on a player that we let go for free. But we don't give a shit. We've got Pogba. Now, they're the 4 players we signed. I think it's been a cracking window in terms of the players we brought in. We needed a new striker, winger, centre-back, central midfielder. Mourinho went out and got his 4 main men. Perfect. Now, in terms of players who have left, I'm also going to rate them 10 out of 10 in terms of how I think that deal is for United. Is it a good deal for Man United or a bad deal? Starting off with Tyler Blackett. Easy one this, 10 out of 10. He went on loan to Celtic last season, and he even disappeared in Celtic's team. He was not going to make it at Man United. I was even surprised when he got his debut. I think he can go on to be a good player, but it's not going to be at Man United. It'll be at Reading underneath Jaap Stam. If there's any man who can get the most out of a defender, it's got to be Jaap Stam. Up next is Cameron Borthwick-Jackson. As you can see, I'm not particularly happy about this deal, giving it a 5 out of 10. I think he could have done a job this year at Manchester United, at left back, in being Luke Shaw's understudy. I don't want Marcus Rojo in the team. Daley Blind should stay at centre-back or central midfield, ideally central defensive midfield, but he hasn't been played there. Although, on the flip side, if it does work out for him at Wolves and he plays all the time, then it could be a very, very good loan spell. 1 year there and he comes back to Man United. He's already said Mourinho trusts him and he's got faith in his future at the club. So hopefully he can smash it at Wolves. I'm just a bit wary that he could have done something at United this year. Next up, Ashley Fletcher. We let him go to West Ham on a permanent deal. I think this is a good move for all parties. I'm not going to 10 out of 10 it because why not? I can't give it to everyone, can I? I'm not sure how much he's going to play, especially after they signed Zaza. But for Fletcher, he wanted a little bit more first-team football, and he wasn't going to get that at Man United this year. So good luck there. Dean Henderson, he's joined Grimsby on loan. 10 out of 10. Definitely needed this loan spell at this point in his career. Very good goalkeeper for the under-18s, but you need loan spells to grow as a player, and he needs that. So I can't wait to see what he does there. Good luck, Dean. Next loan spell, Adnan Januzaj. Definitely a 10 out of 10 move. He had a tough year last season under Louis van Gaal and Thomas Tuchel at Borussia Dortmund, where he didn't start one Bundesliga game. But going to Sunderland to work under David Moyes, a manager who knows him, a manager who trusts him, a manager who gave him his breakthrough. Perfect loan spell for him. And it's good to see he's already scored against Shrewsbury. And I can't wait to see how much he develops this year because he needs it. So a year in the Premier League for him is good. And on the flip side, a year in La Liga at Granada for Andreas Pereira. I'm not happy about this deal. I think, why didn't we send Pereira to Hull on loan? We sold Will Keane there. We sold James Weir to there. Why couldn't we loan Pereira there? Is it the uncertainty with the management, uncertainty with the club? I think a year in the Premier League would have suited Pereira a hell of a lot more than a year at Granada. We've only sent 4 players on loan to La Liga clubs in the last decade. And I just feel like if we really wanted to keep on top of Pereira's career and his progress, we would have sent him to the Premier League where it would have been much easier to keep a look in. And he wouldn't have disappeared. He would have been in the headlines all the time because he would have been playing in the Premier League. But lo and behold, we sent him to Granada. Maybe my pessimism is wrong and he'll come back. He said he wants to go there for the start of play. I think he could have learnt more by playing in the Premier League. Let's hope I'm wrong. I fear I'm not. Next up, Will Keane. Definitely 10 out of 10 for this one. The kid deserves it. He's had a really tough few years through injuries that really robbed him of his Man United opportunities. But under Phelan, at Hull City, a manager who knows him, just like Januzaj with Moyes at Sunderland, a manager who knows him and a manager who will trust him. And I really hope he can put these last few years to bed and go on to make a success of it. Next up, we've got Donald Love. He's gone on permanent deal to Sunderland as well, alongside Paddy McNair, who we'll talk about next. Again, I think this is a good deal. I'm not sure whether Love was ever going to make it at Manchester United. I think, he looked okay when he came on for his debut last year, but that was amid an injury crisis, and I just don't know whether he had it in him to make it for Man United's first team. He was so consistent with the under-21s, so maybe I'm wrong, but I think 8 out of 10 here, I think it's a good move for Man United, and it's a good move for Donald Love as well. Same goes for Paddy McNair. Now, he broke through into Northern Ireland's team, played for them at Euro 2016 in a more defensive midfield role. He was a bit of a utility man at United, played centre-back and right-back. I'm not sure, did he play at central defensive midfield? Let me know in the comments. He may have done. But, again, a player I just don't think was going to make it at Manchester United. I'm happy for him there. I think he'll do well at Sunderland, and I think that works out for him. Joel Pereira. Now, he's left on loan, and I think this is a 10 out of 10 for this one because he's developed very well over the last 18 months playing for our under-21s, and I think he deserves a loan spell because to develop as a player, you really need that loan spell, and this is his chance, so good luck, Pereira. Next up, Nick Powell. Going to give this one 7 out of 10 just because of the what if, and the what if Nick Powell gets over his injuries and fulfills that potential that Fergie bought him for. I think it was a no-brainer. We had to let him go, but what if Powell does turn it around? I don't know whether he will or not. Let me know if you think he will, but I think for all intents and purposes, this is a good deal for Man United. I say a deal. He left on a free. So technically this isn't really a deal, but I hope for Powell's sake that he can now turn his career around and smash it. But what if he smashes it and we don't have a buyback clause? Hey? Next up, Tyler Reid. Found this one a bit strange that we sold Tyler Reid. 5 out of 10. He's gone to Swansea in their development squad. I think he was a good player for Man United, and I think he could have developed. I mean, physically, he's very developed for his age. But saw fit to sell him. Questionable, I think. Next up, we've got Joe Rothwell. He's been sold to Oxford United. 7 out of 10. I think it was very unfortunate for Rothwell. He did get struck down by a couple of injuries and a couple of illnesses as well. But I think he's one of those midfielders that he plays for your under-21s and he looks okay, but just goes on to become a good Football League player. I think Joe Rothwell can do that. Next up, Victor Valdez. I'm giving this 11 out of 10 because it was messy right from the start, and it was very good that United got rid of him because we needed to get rid of him. He's gone to Middlesbrough. Brad Guzan's playing there. I don't know what's going on for Valdez, but he's out of United. Thank God for that. Next one, I've gone for Guillermo Varela. He's gone on loan to Eintracht Frankfurt. Now, I'm giving this 8 out of 10, but I'm considering dropping it to 7 or 6 because, again, same thing as Pereira gone to La Liga. Varela's gone to Germany. He's gone to the Bundesliga. And, you know, sometimes it doesn't work out for youngsters going to foreign clubs for a loan spell. Sometimes it does. And, again, I hope it does work out for him. I'm just a bit wary, and I think he played well last year. Showed real promise at right back, more so than I think all of us thought he would. Next up is James Weir. The under-21s captain was sold to Hull City. I'm giving this one 5 out of 10 because I think he deserved a loan spell before any sort of consideration was given to selling him on a permanent basis. But Mourinho saw fit to sell him, and Hull, I think, have got a very good player. He's going to have a tough season, and someone like Weir could make a difference in midfield. And next up is James Wilson. He has gone to Derby County on loan for the season. I'm giving this one 8 out of 10 because I think it could work out for him again. He had a good year at Brighton last season. Not perfect, so he obviously wasn't going to get opportunities at Man United. I'm so disappointed that Wilson hasn't broken through as much as Marcus Rashford was, but Rashford's appearance really made it far, far tougher for Wilson. And hopefully he can do well at a team which is expected to push for promotion in the Championship. But that is it. So many deals to talk about. What about the window overall for Man United? I've given it 9 out of 10. I think Man United had a superb transfer window. I told you we needed 4 new players. We brought 4 new players. We needed Mourinho. We got Mourinho. We let lots of players out on loan. We sold a good few pieces of Dev Wood. I think there's question marks over Schweinsteiger and the situation which unfurled there. I think there's a couple of questions over certain loan deals that maybe could have been better at different clubs. And if we're being really, really picky, maybe we could have signed a centre-back like Font just to add a little bit more cover in defence. But overall, 9 out of 10. I think it was the best transfer window we've had in a few years. Was it our best transfer window ever? You let me know in the comments below. But that is it for the review. Lots to talk about. As I said, I'm knackered. I need a drink. Drop a like on the video as always. Subscribe to United People's TV if you're new. And we'll see you all very, very soon. And leave your rating out of 10 in the comments below. How did you think Man United's transfer window went? Take it easy, everyone. See you very, very soon.